See, when you're designing a multiple number of pages, when you're designing a multiple pages, when you're trying to design a multiple pages, I want the same look and feel to be applied on every page. I want same look and feel to be applied on every page. Now, every time we want to apply the CSS, whenever we are going for applying the CSS, what we are doing, every time we are trying to apply the CSS, what we are trying to do, we are giving our own properties like, let us say, lighting component, token demo, my class, then I'm going to the style, I'm applying this. So here I was giving like this properties you are giving. So I want the same set of properties to be applied for multiple elements. When you want to apply same set of properties for the multiple elements, every time I don't want to remember the sizes, font size 20, width 400, because I want to apply the same sizes in every element. I have 10 or 20 pages. I have 10 or 20 pages where I want to apply the same properties. Same styles if I want to apply on multiple pages. Every time I don't want to remember what is the font size I gave, what is the font weight I gave, what type of CSS I gave. I don't want to remember the values of the CSS. That is the reason what the people have given. They introduced a concept called tokens. They introduced a concept called tokens. Let us see what is these tokens. Now the way you are creating a lightning component, the same way we have a concept called file, new, look at the point. We have just covered the lightning application, lightning component, lightning interface, lightning event, lightning tokens. Create lightning token. Submit. So what I was doing, I was creating a tokens here. This token, where in the token, every token will have a property. Every token will have a property. So let me give you here. So as I told you, already default token is created. I will not be able to create one more default token. Just I'll try to explain from here. Now what was that? Eura tokens. The way you have created lightning application, component, interface, event, similarly we will be creating lightning tokens. In the token, I give my body text format font size equal to so and so. Token name equal to my body font size normal. So from now, when I gave some tokens, property and the value, So whenever I want to apply this structure, I will use the name of the token. If you use the name of the token, corresponding values will be applied. Like let us say my width 300 pixel. Then whenever I say width equal to token my width, so whatever the value we gave in the token, that will be applied here. Whatever the value we gave in the token, that will be applied. So by default, we are supposed to apply default tokens. By default, we are supposed to create a default token. This is the default token. Everything will run from this only. So we have created a component. Look at this. Euro component div class equal to box. In the box, let us go to the CSS. We told this box background equal to token BG color. What is this BG color? Look at this. I give BG color equal to red. Width equal to my width. What is that? Here I give token my width equal to 300 pixel. My height. So instead of giving the values, I am giving the names of the token. When you give the names of the token, the values will be applied. So what was that? What is the advantage of this? We can apply the same set of CSS value for multiple elements. We can set the values here. we can set the values. Name, value, name, value. So instead of remembering this, I will use the name, so that in multiple components, on multiple components, on the multiple components, on the multiple components, same set of CSS we can apply. So what I told, component class equal to box. In the corresponding CSS, I am giving background token, the BG color from the token. Okay, width, my width from the tokens, height, my height, border, my border. Then go to this, run the application. When you run it, let us see what is the structure we are getting. Background color red, width, height, we are getting this. How are you getting this? How are you getting this? In the application, I told token example 1, token example 2. In the token example 2, you give class equal to 2. In the class equal to 2, what we are giving here? Token my height, token my width, border. Did you find these points? Did you follow these points? People have followed these points. Chalo, let me try to delete them. Already the default is created, so I was not able to create a new one. I'll try to extend this in different style. Probably I can give a better example. Right. Here I was giving okay, equal to radius. This is how I created Yura token. Now by default it's a default tokens. Then I'm creating a component. Please mute your mic, Sama. Vishal Yadav, please mute your mic. Lightning component I'm creating. Caller 01, please mute your mic. Right. Here I was giving class equal to box. Thank you. This is what I give. Style box. Then I told width token. What is the width I give? Width. name of the token. I'm not giving the value. Background border it is. So instead of giving the values, I was giving the token values. Padding 10 pixel. Right. Padding 10 pixel. Now let us see this. So here I was using the property. I can give the values or I can use the tokens. Then I'm giving. Alright. Then let me run this. Right. Have a preview. This is how we are getting it here. Right. How are you getting these properties? These properties are actually defined as a token. These properties are defined as a token. Still, I'll give some more properties here. Right. Now, similarly, I have taken demo example 1 component, the corresponding CSS application. One more component I'm creating here. Same story. Then I'm applying the style here. In this style, I don't want to get all the properties of that. I want to give only a few properties. Width, token, width. This is how I applied. So, wherever the same type of element should be, same type of value should be applied, same type of property should be applied for multiple elements or multiple location. Instead of remembering the values every time, we can define them as a token. We can reuse those tokens in the CSS. We can reuse the tokens in the CSS. That's a functionality of this token concept. Demo token, what was that? Token exa C colon token underscore demo pig.
Telegram.
This is how we are getting it. I hope everyone has followed this. When you want same set of properties to be used in the multiple CSS files for multiple components, instead of remembering the values of the CSS elements, we can define those values as a token, and we can use those tokens in the CSS. Right. Right, boss. Now,
We didn't use force SLDS.
not
And
no, I am not using like
what
1 minute, Amma. Force SLDS will be used when you want to use when you apply lightning colon components. I have not applied any lightning colon components yet. I have applied my own CSS. There is no lightning colon, right? Force SLDS is used when you want to apply when you are using a components of lightning colon. But in this example, I have not used any element which belongs to lightning colon. That's the reason it's not required. Okay.
is, and in default tokens, there is extends, right? Extends
Yeah,
component 3 is there.
I'm going to cover that. I'm covering that point only. Right. Next. Now the issue here is everything should run from default tokens. No, you do you want to use a different set of tokens again. Then what we can do? We can define this is not for default, this is not required. So everything will run from the default. No, I don't want to run from the default. I don't want to run from the default. I want to define different set of tokens. I want to define different set of tokens. Then what we do? We will define different set of tokens. Those tokens will be extended by the default tokens. Like let's say I'm taking this new lightning tokens. I create like this we are given. Now we cannot use this token what you created directly. The token what you created, we cannot use them directly. This token, if you want to use, this should be extended by the default token. The default token has to extend that, then we have to use it. So what we do? C colon. Got my point? Straight away, we cannot use tokens in the CSS. So whatever the tokens you want to use, those tokens should be extended by 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 default token component, then we are supposed to use. I hope you are good with that. So by default tokens will be accessed in the CSS. So any separate set of tokens you want to create them, but they should be extended by the default tokens. Only when they are extended by the default token, then we'll be able to use it. So what was the default token we gave? Color we gave. So go back to the CSS. This is how we're going to keep. So go to the application, run it. I hope you're good with this. I hope everyone is good. Followed the concept?
Hi Satish, I have one question. Can I ask that?
Go ahead.
Sir, can we use this token as a can we use this token in any other places, like not only in CSS file, like in Visual Force pages or components?
No, basically we are using them for the the token concept is in the Lightning only.
Yeah, this can be used as properties file
Only
like in Java.
Only CSS. You can look
Only
at the,
CSS.
you look at the main definition. In your components, CSS style resources only.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
And that also should be accessed with the name of default tokens only. Anything else you want to use, they should be extended by the anything else you want to use, they should be extended. Anything else you want to use, that should be extended. Anything else you want to use, that should be extended by the default tokens. Then we have to go for it. Okay.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Right. So I hope everyone has followed
Like
this. Yeah.
one doubt, sir. Like if we have 2, 3 components of tokens, how can we manage?
I told no extends, no. So component one, extend component two.
Default one.
No, see,
Okay, comma, comma. You can
not
do it.
comma, not comma.
Some-
Only one. So if you have multiple, let us see. I have A, B extends A, C extends C. Default. Right. Because it's extend concept, no. Only one we can extend directly. Right, boss?
Okay, sir.
So this is the concept. So that's how we have covered this bundles, whatever that is available here. Lightning application, lightning component, lightning interface, lightning event, lightning tokens. So coming here, we have covered applications, controllers, helpers, style, and documentation is a critical information basically. Now we are getting a component and the purpose. We'll be looking at these two things in the coming classes. But prior to that, let us go with the how to call the lightning component within the Visual Force page. I want to design a lightning component, but I want to call this component within the Visual Force page. I want to design lightning component, but the component I want to design within the Visual Force page. So how to create lightning component and invoke it within the Visual Force page. That is a topic. Now that we can do it, it's not necessary that we need to see the old code. I can directly go for okay. Let me show it. How do you create? There are 4 points that we need to understand. Right. What is the component I'm using? Output app 1. Right. Look at this. I have created one lightning application. Yura application extends lightning out app. If you want any application, any lightning application to be used within the Visual Force page or outside the lightning framework, any application or a component you want to use outside the lightning framework, then application has to extend lightning out app. If you are trying to create a new application, at the bottom we get an option, lightning application is giving here lightning out dependency app. The moment I select this, this option will be coming here. At the time of creating a lightning application, we get an option called lightning out dependency. The moment I select this checkbox, we get an option called lightning application. Your application extends lightning out app. Only when application extends lightning out app, this application can be used outside the Salesforce, outside the lightning framework. Okay. Then access should be global. Access should be global. Fine. Now within this application, what is a component that has the dependency? Dependency component. Now Yura dependency resource. The resource equal to name of the component. It can be a standard component. It can be a custom component. It can be a standard component or it can be a custom component. Jura application extends lightning out app. Jura application extends lightning out app. Access equal to global. Then we have to create a dependency resource. Jura dependency resource equal to name of the component. It can be a custom component. It can be a standard component. Any one we can use. Standard or a custom component. Okay. Now I have given UI button. Then go back. Then how do you call that application within the Visual Force page is the question. If you want to call that within the Visual Force page, first thing that we need to do is whatever the CSS and JavaScripts that we are using in the Lightning, whatever the JavaScript framework that is used in the Lightning, whatever the JavaScript framework we are using in the Lightning, whatever the JavaScript framework that we are using in the Lightning, if you want to use the JavaScript framework within the Visual Force page, then we are supposed to implement, then we are supposed to implement, then we are supposed to include the Lightning JavaScript framework within the Visual Force page. I repeat, whatever the JavaScript that we are using in the Lightning, if you want to include that JavaScript, if you want to include that JavaScript, if you want to include the JavaScript, if you want to include the JavaScript within the Visual Force page, within the Visual Force page, then we are supposed to use apex include scripting. Then we are supposed to use apex include scripting. We are supposed to use apex include scripting. When you say apex include scripting, then the JavaScript framework will be included here. Next one, once you are done with this, then I need to specify how to call Lightning component within the, how to call Lightning application within the Visual Force page. Now, because it's a script, we have to write within the script here. Then look at the functionality, understand carefully. This is how we are supposed to create. What was that? Lightning dot use namespace colon application name. What is a callback action? Lightning colon use namespace colon application name. Lightning dot use namespace colon application name function. This is what we are supposed to use. Now, what is the application name that we are using here? Our Lightning application is out app 1. This is the name of the application. That is the reason we gave lightning.use c colon out app 1 callback action. In the callback action, what you want to do? You want to specify create component. We have already seen how to create a dynamic components in the Lightning. How do you create a dynamic component? If you want to create a dynamic component, if you remember well, we already done this number of times. If you remember well, how do you create a dynamic component? Lightning dot create component. I can give you this lightning dot create component. Param 1, param 2, From 3, callback action. I hope you remember this structure. So, how many actions we are getting here? 4 parameters are required here. What is parameter 1? Name of the component. Parameter 2, properties of the attribute. Component in the form of map. ID of the element where we want to display. Then, what you want to perform. Perform. This is how you are giving. So once again, I'll retype the story. Lightning dot, create component. This is how we get it. What is parameter 1? Name of the component. Let me give lightning dot button, UI dot button, lightning dot card. If it's custom, C dot component, C colon, param 2, values of the attribute. Let us say if it is a button, what will be there in the button? Label. You are defining it, attributes. Now if it is a lightning card, any one step, one format you have to follow. Like these properties we are giving. Param 3, ID of the element, function, callback action. Right, boss? That's what we have done. So go back to this. Right. I am going to give first. Okay. Go to the VF page, have a preview. This is how we got. Press this button. But where was this button actually created? To make you to understand that it's a lightning component. What I will do, instead of UI button, I'll give lightning button. Have a preview. Now this is the button what is created. Let me go back to the next one. I'll create one more element here. I hope you followed this structure. I hope everyone has followed this structure. To give, I hope everyone has followed this structure. This is the lightning structure what we receive. Anyone has any query on this? Anyone has any query on this? Let's make one more perfect. So what I will do, I'll take one more example. Try to, if you have followed, I'll just explain the existing code. If not followed, I'll try to create it. If people have followed, I'll try to explain the existing code. Not followed, I'll try to create it. Did the people follow this? Did the people follow or not, boss? Right. This is how I created. Then I'm going for some style first. I'll try to use token. So this I have given CSS style, and I am going for a classical box. controller. I'm trying to create a controller. What is it? CR. What was that? Result only again. This is how I created. Now, what I was supposed to do, a dependency I have to create. Let me give. First, we are supposed to go for extends. Let me. I might have enable the checkbox instead of typing all this stuff. Okay. What is the name of the resource? Dependency resource c dot vf example 1. This is how I created URA dependency resource vf example 1. So I have created a component and there's a dependency component here. Now what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to create a Visual Force page. Now in the Visual Force page, how will you implement this? In the Visual Force page, how do you implement this? Right. First thing that we need to do is include lightning. Once you include this, once you're done with this, then we have ID, div ID. What are the ID I am giving here? My component ID is my component. So in this div, I want to print whatever the lightning component is getting created. I want to create here. Okay. Then lightning dot use name of the application. What is the name of the application I give? VF example app. It is the name of the application. VF example app function. Then what is the dependency resource I created? VF example 1. So lightning dot create component c dot VF example 1. Dynamic component. What are the properties we gave? Properties we gave. Do you want to give any properties here? No, I don't want to give any properties here. I just give it like this. Empty. Where you want to display? If you want to give a properties, you can give it. So because I want to show the example on the property, I will also try to close that component. It's okay, right? Then where you want to print? I want to print the element in my component. Right. Then I'm giving look at this. So you still want to get some look and feel, you can go with this. So what was it? The lightning look and feel we got here, calendar, lightning card we got here. Enter A value, enter B value. So why we are getting all three same? Let me go and check the code.
That is VF example one, sir. You can go component, open the component
Let me
from the controller. Yes.
then I'm giving some values here, some attributes I'm passing here. Then I'm calling the VF page, the style. Go to the VF page. Here we are giving properties. And I was passing the parameters. Then go to the VF page, have a preview. This is how we are getting it. Let me print the value. So probably some padding value is not applied here. The token is what applied. So go back to the component, get at the look at the tokens. So default, what is the default token I have taken? Open Lightning resource. So width, the height, I will take it. Then what is the property I gave? Tokens. Width I gave, background I gave, radius I gave, left I gave, margin left. It is not applied because it's inner element. Okay. Then go back to the component and I want to display some elements here. I don't think 200 will be sufficient. And no issue then. I'll try to display at the bottom. Can someone tell me what is the reason why the CSS was not applied? The div was an inner element. So I have to give a space. I have forgot to give the space there. That was an inner element. We are supposed to give a space, but I didn't give a space there. Right. So some modifications are made. Have a preview. So look at this. The border width, height. So what I should do, increase the height of the elements here. Now the things are getting applied, right? So go back, height 100 will not be sufficient, then I will give it as 300 or 400, let's say. Just we create some component there, we are trying to include that component within the visual force. Got it? This is how we got it. So we created a lightning component and we are trying to use that lightning component within this. So including lightning component within the visual force page. So cross check the code. Anyone has any query on this code, let me know. I can help you out in explaining it. Cross check this code. Anyone has any query, I can help you out. Cross check the code. Anyone has any query on this, let me know. I can help you out. I just try to demonstrate both the usage of tokens as well as the visual force page together.
This is that div id equal to my conf, where it is used.
Which one, Amma? Line number? Could you please tell me the line number?
Div id equal to my conf.
This I give, no. This I give here, no. Okay. Whatever the new component is created, where it should be displayed in my component.
Okay, thank you.
Any other queries from anyone else? Okay. Fine. So that's all from my end for the day. Tomorrow we'll continue.